Well, one of the things, obviously, that continues to concern me is the anemic economy and the impact on the city. For 4 months now, we've seen that sales tax collections were down below what they were the previous month, and based on the people I've talked with in the community and all that, a lot of retailers, a lot of restaurants have seen some decline in their business. And as we go forward into this new year, one of the things that we've got to do as a city and staff, and also the elected officials too, is we will manage this city with the available resources that we've been given. There are some projects on the future that are probably obviously I don't get to make the final decision, and you've got the mayor and Commissioner Lee here, but we're sort of in a wait and see mode on some of those projects. I read more and more each day. Right now there's about 4 or 5 cities in this country on the verge of bankruptcy. Was it yesterday morning's paper that, Midland City has no money?
Yes.
All those people who have questioned the sound financial practices of this city by setting aside recommended reserves of 8% of the budget are going to, this is going to prove that the decision of the City Commission to do that was a wise one. It was very prudent financially, and because of that, we're probably going to avoid a lot of the problems that a lot of areas are doing. There are cities laying off people. There's a city in California that filed bankruptcy to get out of their union contracts because they couldn't afford to pay their public safety personnel anymore. And one of the things that we've tried to do is be wise stewards of money here. I realize a lot of people disagree, and that's the American way. It's sort of like being married. You don't always agree, but I think that I'll have to give my hats off to the City Commission since I've been here, is they have been very prudent in their decision making. And I'll go on record saying this: if the city of Dothan had not raised its sales tax, we would be to the point where we were no longer replacing vehicles. We could no longer replace bridges that have some safety issues with them. We would no longer be able to deal with resurfacing and other road projects, and and we would be at the point also where we would probably be reducing personnel. And I think that I guess my first intention here is to let everybody know that we're not out of the woods yet. I've tried to tell the city commissioners that when all of this is over, we're going to be formed a new bottom of our sales tax. And it's not going to jump up to where it was. It's going to grow up again. But the second message is that because of the economic conditions we're faced, Dothan has been spared a lot of the pain that a lot of cities have felt, because in the last 3 and 4 years they have been very good stewards of the taxpayers' money and been wise enough to set aside money to do things. I mean, there's a lot of things going on right now that this community direly needs. Number one, we're helping ALDOT. We're doing the improvements, storm drain improvements associated with 231 North. And if you don't believe 231 North needs, you head out that way about 4 to 5 o'clock on a Friday night and drive north and look at the traffic. And because of that, we can go forward with that. Fortner and Honeysuckle improvements, major problem, especially if you're there when school's letting in or letting out. And so there are things that we're moving forward with that would not be able to if this city commission had not been wise stewards and took him. And let me say a lot of that too, and they're to be commended for this. And I'm not just doing that because they're here, but anyway, and I guess somehow small place. Oh, okay. And I like to take somehow that I had a little bit, but see, people don't realize how important the strategic plan is that they revisit every 18 months, because it allows this community to be focused. And that doesn't mean everybody agrees with it. But, the biggest problem that, I can say, being a professional in government, is that so many times the elected officials, the leaders, the staff doesn't get a unified message of where we want to go. And that little document, while it may seem insignificant, is a message. It's a message to staff. It's a message to the community. It's a message to the state. This is where we want to go. And I firmly believe it helps attract business and industry. It's that. And so, I guess my point. And I don't think the economic problems are over. Unfortunately, we've got a while to go yet. But I just know, in talking to my counterparts, and also talking to, reading, the professional magazines from my profession, Dothan has been spared a lot of the pain of other areas. In fact, I went down and gave a presentation in Sandestin, or Destin, the Troy had a public administration conference, and this guy from Escambia County got up and started talking about, with their cutbacks there, they've had to reduce $24 million in property taxes. So afterwards I told him, I said, well, I wish I had $24 million. And I said, enough to give somebody back $24 million. I said, we don't get a little over $3 million. And so, a lot of people don't realize that, I guess they do, and nobody likes taxes. I mean, I don't like taxes. I mean, let's face it. But, the reality of everything we do costs money. I mean, $1.5 million for resurfacing, does what, 6-7 miles. And that's all you get done. I mean, you're not getting, that little old fire truck, it didn't look, but it's over $400,000 now. A ladder truck, we bid it. We're actually thinking about, we need another ladder truck. We've got one that's old and tired, and we actually bid it, and it came in at over $800,000, and I had to put it on hold. I had to put it on hold.
I haven't seen the October sales tax. Have you got the final numbers in for October?
I don't have the final numbers yet.
Mike, the county got in their numbers a few days ago, and they're showing being down 5% prior to last year. Yeah. Any ideas where Dothan is?
We're probably going to be down somewhere around 8%. Is what, anyway.
Well, this is a question I have then. If with the growth that we're still experiencing, new developments, new shopping centers, and that's great, and we're glad to see that, are we going to be able to keep up with the infrastructure that we need to keep this growth going, and the resurfacing and roads and other things that we're going to have to provide to keep this developed?
Well, one of the fortunate things that is that, the whole plan with the sales tax was that basically half of it went for operations, and the other half was set aside for future capital, the major capital, like the ball fields and possibly a library and all of those things. Well, those are the things that right now are going to be put on hold until we get somewhere.